Welcome to ByteLadder Academy. Today, we're breaking down threats, vulnerabilities, and risk in plain English. Look, whether you're currently grinding away studying for your Security Plus certification, or you're a real-world IT pro defending enterprise networks every single day, mastering these three terms is absolutely foundational. Over the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly what these terms actually mean, and more importantly, how grasping this specific equation is going to help you make much better, much faster security decisions on a daily basis. Trust me, understanding this concept is the absolute key to maintaining business continuity and keeping your sensitive data locked down tight. Okay, let's dive into this explainer. We've got a super clear roadmap today to take these concepts from pure theory straight into daily IT application. We're going to start off with our core definitions, check out the risk intersection, and then use a really helpful grounding analogy. After that, we'll walk through some real-world IT scenarios, break down the 4 risk responses, and finally, wrap things up with common mistakes and a quick recap. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Core Definitions. First up, we've got the concept of a threat. Simply put, a threat is absolutely anything out there that could cause harm, loss, damage, or compromise to your IT systems. Now, the completely crucial thing to remember here is that threats are external or potential dangers. We're talking about things like a malicious cyber attacker, a massive phishing email campaign, a nasty piece of malware, a sudden power outage, or hey, even a natural disaster like an earthquake. As cybersecurity professionals, we cannot fully control these external threats. They're just out there, in the wild, whether we like it or not. But, unlike threats, we actually do have the ability to control our vulnerabilities. So what is a vulnerability? It's an internal weakness in your system's design, its implementation, or your daily operations. Because these come from internal factors, they are entirely within our power to fix. Think of things like an unpatched operating system, an employee using a super weak password, some misconfigured cloud storage, or maybe just a lack of security training for your staff. These are the weaknesses living right inside our own walls. Moving right along to Section 2, the risk intersection. Now, this is where things get really interesting. It's all about how we bring these two distinct elements together to create an actual business impact. Look at this equation. Threat plus vulnerability equals risk. This is the absolute core rule of cybersecurity defense. Risk is the actual, real-world possible loss, damage, or consequence that's created only when a real external threat lines up perfectly with a real internal vulnerability. So the major takeaway here is this. If you have a threat, but absolutely no matching vulnerability to go with it, you have zero risk, period. For example, let's say there's a massive threat of Windows-based malware sweeping across the internet right now, but your entire environment runs strictly on Linux. Well, there's no matching vulnerability and therefore no risk to you. And you know, the exact same thing holds true in reverse. If you've got a vulnerability, like an unpatched server, but it's totally disconnected from any network and literally locked inside a physical vault, well, no threat actor can reach it. No intersection means no materialized risk. All right, on to Section 3, the grounding analogy. To really lock this mental model into your brain, let's step out of the server room for a second and look at a physical world analogy that makes this whole thing crystal clear. I want you to picture a massive storm. That storm is your external threat. Now imagine you've got a leaking, heavily damaged roof on your house. That is your internal vulnerability. The resulting water damage that completely ruins your living room, that's the risk. Now, you obviously can't control the storm, right? The weather's going to do whatever it wants. But you absolutely can patch that roof, prep your supplies, and dramatically reduce the risk of that water damage ever happening. We can even see this play out in your daily commute. Let's say your main goal is just to get to work on time. An external threat, totally out of your control, might be an earthquake, or maybe just another driver causing a huge traffic accident. But an internal vulnerability, something you definitely could have controlled, would be a total lack of preparation. Like, forgetting to put gas in your car or completely ignoring your routine vehicle maintenance. When that external traffic threat inevitably hits your internal vulnerability of a broken down car, the risk becomes reality. You arrive late for work and your boss is definitely not happy. Okay, let's look at Section 4, real-world IT scenarios. Now, as cybersecurity professionals, we've got to pivot these physical concepts directly into our enterprise networks to see exactly how they govern our daily operations. Let's walk through some real-world IT examples to prove this equation. If a malicious phishing email, the threat, hits an untrained user, the vulnerability, the resulting risk is account compromise. If an attacker targets a network with a weak password, bam, you're facing unauthorized access risk. If a ransomware threat meets the vulnerability of having zero offline backups, you are looking straight at a massive business outage risk. Likewise, cloud exposure, combined with poor permissions, that equals a serious data leak risk. And finally, a power outage hitting a facility with no backup power setup equals severe service downtime risk. Notice how the real business impact always happens right at that intersection.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 5, 4 basic risk responses.
So, once we identify these risks, we have to make some intelligent decisions about how to handle them. You essentially have 4 specific levers you can pull here. First step is mitigate. This simply means reducing the risk using security controls. In our Commute analogy, mitigating might mean waking up an hour earlier to give yourself a buffer. In IT, mitigating means finally applying those software patches to your server. Second is transfer. This means shifting the financial burden of the risk to somebody else. Think buying cybersecurity insurance or drafting up a strict third-party agreement. Third is avoid. This means stopping the risky activity entirely, like deciding, hey, I'm just not going to drive in this snowstorm, or completely powering down a highly vulnerable legacy server. And fourth is accept. This is where you knowingly live with the risk, usually because the cost or the sheer effort of fixing it far outweighs the potential damage.
All right, we've made it to Section 6, common mistakes and recap.
Before we wrap up this lesson, we really need to cover the most common pitfalls learners run into. Whether you're sitting for your Security Plus exam or grinding away in IT support, please do not make the mistake of treating threats, vulnerabilities, and risks as the exact same interchangeable words. They are totally distinct. Another massive industry trap is focusing entirely on the threats we can't control. It's honestly like chasing ghosts, instead of fixing the internal weaknesses we actually can control. Also, definitely avoid assuming that every single threat automatically equals risk or ignoring the ultimate business impact. And finally, never trick yourself into thinking that risk can be 100% eliminated. It absolutely cannot. It can only ever be managed. Okay, let's do a super quick learner check just to see how well these concepts have set in for you. Imagine a company is facing a constant, daily barrage of phishing emails, but their employees are highly trained and multi-factor authentication is fully enabled across the board. What exactly has the company reduced? Take a quick second to process that intersection equation in your head. All right, if you said risk, you hit the nail on the head. The answer is risk. Look, the threat of those phishing emails is still completely out there, totally out of the company's control. But because the internal vulnerabilities were successfully mitigated through solid training and MFA, the overall risk to the business was drastically reduced. So here is your ByteLadder recap to permanently lock this mental model in place. A threat is what could cause harm. A vulnerability is the internal weakness that threat could use. And risk is what happens when both of those come together and create a real, tangible business impact. I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to take back to your daily operations. As an IT professional, which internal vulnerabilities are you going to mitigate today to eliminate your organization's biggest risks? Start looking for the leaks in your own roof and fix them before the storm actually hits. Thanks for hanging out and learning with us on this explainer.